Hi, guys. I am over the moon to introduce you to my guest today, Parrish Salyers, accomplished actor, off-Broadway assistant general manager of a show that was nominated for a Drama Desk Award and an Alliance Award, CEO and founder of your own creative consulting business. And you're 22? Is that right?
Yeah, 22.
Wow. Welcome. So great to see you. How are you?
I'm doing so well. Thank you for having me. It's been a couple years since we saw each other last, and so much has happened, and it's insane.
It really is. It really is. So you're in New York. It's been a real whirlwind time for you, going out there, starting grad school, and then having to shut down, starting your own business. How have you managed to keep such a positive attitude with all of this going on?
Yeah, most definitely, I think taking time for myself away from everything that I'm doing. Like, yes, I love everything I'm doing, but I have to remember, like, I can't do those things if I'm not in a place that is good for my mental health to do them. So, things like going to the gym and just working out for an hour, like nothing, or going for a walk, like just getting out of the apartment and just finding a new space. That's one of the best pieces of advice I can give. Is when I moved out here, it was work and home. But that doesn't really translate well if you have a bad day, because then you're bringing that work that like wasn't great home. So I found like a coffee shop or just a bench at the park, like someplace that I can just release everything before I come home to what should be like my safe space and like the place that I can relax in. So I would say, finding that third place is like key, and making sure you stay positive with everything.
That's such good advice, especially when so many of us are working at home. And so our workplace is our safe haven, and then we can get kind of a little crazy. So I
Yeah.
love that idea of a third space. That's so great. And
Yeah.
what's the feeling in New York right now? Is it pretty upbeat?
Surprisingly, it is. It's very upbeat. I think a lot of people out here are, wearing their masks, which has been phenomenal to go out. And now you get a fine if you don't, which is okay. Like, great. Thanks for implementing that. Restaurants are opening, outdoors are open, stores are slowly opening. I actually went to a drive-in movie theater the other night in Brooklyn.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was amazing. But the cool thing is they adjusted it so if you didn't have a car, you could walk up and sit at one of the chairs they had. So it's like slowly opening up again, and it's exciting to see, especially on that entertainment side. Like, we can go to a movie and we can be socially distanced, and it makes me hopeful that we can do more outdoor performance events and be socially distanced with those.
Because you're an artist, obviously, and you have a lot of artist friends. How have you guys tried to pivot while keeping your creativity and the juices flowing?
Yeah, I have a friend that or a couple friends that we actually call each other once a week to just check in mentally. There's so much going on right now that we need that. We all need it. Like, you just need somebody else to just kind of get it all out. Someone that doesn't know everything about you, but like, let me just vent and word vomit everything to you. And we check in and just see what progress have you made on a project you're working on. I'm working on a project, and it's a virtual benefit concert that I am hoping to get up soon. But I don't spend hours and hours on it every single week. I'm working full-time right now, and if I push myself too far on it right now, it just becomes exhausting. So once a week I make a goal of, I need to accomplish this. It could be a reach out, a contract, like something so small. And I'm like, great, there's progress. That's the progress I needed. That's the creativity I needed this week. Now I have to go back to my day job and like get everything done so that I can go back as a break and work on that again.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so brilliant, because I think when there's so much uncertainty looming out there, no one knows what's going to happen, having those small goals to accomplish can be so satisfying. It's not this whole, I'm going to finish this whole play I'm writing or whatever in this lockdown time, because we don't know how long it's going to be. So chipping away is so smart. and having that accountability is, oh, I'm going to have a call with my person today. I better make sure I get it done.
Yeah, exactly. And the other thing, like pivoting, is I think that like it's an opportunity. Like I love the arts. I am thrilled to have a career in it. But there's been things that I wanted to learn. Like I took a project management course over this quarantine, and learned something I had always wanted to, but never had the time to. I'm getting my real estate license. I've always had an interest in architecture and real estate, but never had the time to sit down and take the course and take the exam. And so I'm trying to find the intersection of how I can present real estate and the arts, and how, I don't know, an open house can turn into an event with a Broadway star for an evening, and hopefully, bring some joy to people and also close a deal. Like I'm trying to find those intersections of things that I enjoy.
That's so cool. In a moment. To be able to combine something that could be really, something, what's the word? I hate to say the word day job, but if you can't make a living in the arts right now, to make something that you could, and then to combine the two, that's really remarkable. Wow.
Yeah, so that's kind
You're
of
not older.
sometimes my parents are like, "Are you sure you're our child?" I'm like, pretty sure.
Right. So, what are some things you do regularly to choose happiness in your life?
Yeah, I read books. I can tell you I do not sit down and read a whole book at one time. I can't. I just can't focus that long. I read books that I feel like help my sense of like worth. And so one of them is the Highly Seven Effective Habits of People, or I'm butchering that title, but
I
along
don't
those.
yeah.
And then, like I said, I like to go out. I like to explore New York City. I put my mask on. I just go out. I put on different songs. Right now, I'm obsessed with Vienna, but the Ben Platt version. Like, okay, Parrish, there we are, the Ben Platt version.
Wait, pause. He does a version of the Linda Eder song?
Uh,
No?
Billy Joel. Right?
Oh, even better. Okay,
Yeah.
I've got to write that down. Ben
Yeah.
Platt doing Vienna. Oh my gosh, that's great. Go on. Sorry.
And I mean, I have friends out here that we've all been like quarantining, not together in one apartment, but we're very respectful of each other's spaces. And so seeing them and just not talking about anything relating to the world at times, I think kind of putting a mute button on everything going on has been really beneficial, and that's how I'm choosing happiness. Like I can engage in a political talk with my parents all day long. I can engage in phone calls with work all day long. They're not necessarily things that bring me happiness, so I have to like get it all out, press mute, go do something that I enjoy, and then come back to it. I also just discovered Tate's cookies out here. They're like amazing. I had no clue until recently. And so I just got a box of those shipped to me. My grandparents sent me a box, and I'm eating too many of those for my happiness, But
Hashtag mute button, hashtag Tate's cookies. I think we're onto something here.
yeah, I think it's the next thing.
Yeah. Maybe we can get a sponsorship or something, right?
Yeah, let's get it going.
Oh wow, that's such good advice. I love that, the mute button. It's so succinct and it makes so much sense.
Yeah. And I think another way I've been choosing happiness is I actually got this from my friend. She works so hard every day, like 9 to 8 p.m. at night, like crazy hours. She's a rock star. And recently she's decided, I want to create like a new aspect of my life. So every morning she gets up and walks her roommate, who's also my friend, to the bike station, and her friend bikes down to her job, and then she goes and walks or does something in the morning that's just for her. She puts in music. She goes to Central Park. So I've started to like adopt that, and every morning I've been waking up, and I've just been going and sitting in a park here and bringing my book and like not looking at my phone in the morning for 30 minutes. Like my alarm rings, I snooze most of the time. It rings again. I stop it. I get up. I grab my book. I make some coffee here, and then I just go out and don't look at my phone. I don't look at my phone the first 30 minutes I'm up. It just, that first look can be so negative. You know, there's something new happening in politics. There's something new happening in the world. There's some new, whatever, the next top thing that like we don't need necessarily. So that's been something I'm slowly working into my routine, and I'm already feeling more happy, I would say. But trying to like really narrow in on how I want that to be.
So it's on how to start your day that's best
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. And it sounds like to me like you really connect with nature. Well, I'm sure living in Colorado, that was big for you originally.
Oh,
Can you
totally.
speak to that, how connecting nature might help with choosing happiness?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, my family grew up skiing. When we could walk, my dad put us on skis. So there's always been this like family bonding over skiing. Like I don't golf, my dad and my brother golf, like my sister and stepmom and mom, and like no one does the same thing, but there's one thing we all do together, and it's skiing. So that's just been, you know, you fly down the mountain at how fast you want to go, and like the whole world kind of fades away and you're just there. So living in New York has been challenging for me because I came from Colorado where you have the beautiful Rockies and the 14ers and like the skiing. And I'm like, okay, now I'm walking city blocks and, you know, there's no views of gorgeous mountains. So I've been trying to find different parks here. I live really close to the East River Greenway, which is beautiful. Like I will bike down that, go look at the Brooklyn Bridge, the Williamsburg Bridge. So trying to find my Colorado in New York, I would say. Um, yeah, it's been a challenge for sure, but being outside like is a must, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's great that you're able to find, I mean, you know, all of our four walls are getting pretty tight right now.
Yeah.
So all of us to get out and breathe the fresh air and notice the leaves changing and all those kinds of things, I think now more than ever is so important.
Yeah, totally.
Mhm.
Totally.
And that's something I think we also forget when we get on the treadmill of, I have to get my work done and my kids are home and I have to homeschool. It's just, you got to take that time outside. Even if it's freezing cold or super hot, you got to get outside. All
Yeah,
right,
like
mute button, Tate's cookies, get outside. I got that.
you know, it's set.
Now, especially in the arts, I'm sure, you know, we all face rejection and doors being closed in our faces. And do you have any advice for people who are trying to make their way in an arts career when, you know, the doors are opened by other people so often? It's like you have to get the part or they have to accept your script. Not that you faced a lot of that, I assume, because you're so talented. But do you have any advice for people who are, you know, maybe struggling?
Yeah, I want to start off, I guess, by saying there's a role out there for everybody. And I have a lot of friends who are still in college and they're like, oh, I'm not in this show and I'm not in this show and I'm working so hard. Like, I just don't know what to do. And I have two pieces of advice. One is very brutal, and the other is lighter, I would say. The brutal piece is if you're not going to put the work in to really improve upon yourself, don't come into this career. And I mean that not in a way to discourage somebody, but everybody's working hard. Everybody works hard out here. Everybody works hard in this industry. And I would look inwards to why am I not getting cast? Is it something I'm doing? And if it is, how can I improve that? Is it something where I can't get in with the creative team? If that's the case, you don't want to work with them. You don't. That's something I'm finding out a lot is, like I said, the right role will pop up for you. That's the light advice. Like college roles, okay, cool. But some people in college don't book their big role. Like you could not book in college and book your big role. So I think finding the right team, and it comes along, and when it does, it's magical. It is pure magic. It's like, wow, yes, this is what I've been working hard for through the ups, through the downs, through the late night sessions of crying because I didn't get this or that. I always give myself 24 hours to be upset over something. I get it all out. And then I have a new day. Like I have a new journey after that. So when I moved out here, I was interviewing for so many jobs that I wanted. I wanted this, you know, associate producer job. I wanted that executive assistant job at that production company. I wanted that marketing job. Like there were so many different things I wanted and I wasn't getting them. And I was like, okay, this is very frustrating. And I'm more on the admin side. So artists, actors, you relate to this maybe through auditions or that class you're taking. And then I started reaching out to people and saying, hey, I'm getting these interviews. What's not working? And I had people coach me through interviews. I had people redo my entire resume, redo my entire cover letter, like to help me. So that's the problem of like me. I wasn't looking inwards. That was something I was like, no, this is great. Like it's getting me the interview. It wasn't getting me the job though.
Right, right.
So that's that. And then I would also say right now, I think is such a critical time as an artist that you should look into self-producing. I've had so many friends do Zoom readings. I've had so many friends just do, I worked for a company out here as an intern and they do pizza readings. So they invite friends over, they get a box of pizza, they assign parts, like it's no big stress for a box of pizza, like a $20 pizza. Invite your friends over, read your work, have your friends critique or have them critique later, like let them digest everything. And pick the people you want to work with. Like I said, if you don't get that job or that job, like you don't want to work with them necessarily. So I have friends that I'm working with now because I like what they're doing. I've reached out to them. I've said, hey, like you have something here. Can we work together? Here's what I think I can bring to the table. And it's just, it's hard work. It's hard work, I guess, when I sum it up. I'm like talking in circles a little bit, but yeah, you have to wake up every day with the mentality of this could be the next one. And if it's not, be upset and then look at why is it not this one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think people like you who are so good at what you do, you make it look easy, and people don't realize everything in the arts. It's a lot harder than it looks. And I
Yeah.
think that point of putting yourself out there, both to ask for help and to put your art on display, both of which are super scary,
So scary.
but they're necessary, because if you want it, it has to get out there. So
Yeah.
plenty of people will, write a book. Oh, I didn't want to publish it or something like that. You got to get it out there.
Yeah.
Um, and I think so many times too, we're reluctant to ask for help because we think, oh, I'll appear weak, or, oh, I've got this. And when, none of us knows everything,
Right. Right. Yeah. And I actually had a friend that I'm working with and she posted a video as like a follow-up to one of her previous videos. And it's hilarious. It is funny. And I mean, of course, I'm a little biased because she's my friend as well. But the concept of it is funny. And she posted it and she didn't get the reaction she was expecting. And I think the first video had kind of set that expectation, which is amazing. And like, yes, we hope to continue success. But she reached out. She's like, I'm like very like nervous and like a little self-conscious about this. Like, I don't know why this isn't performing the way it needs to. And I started off, I said, there are several things we need to go over. No one's an overnight success. No one. The people that get their big break and they're like, oh, overnight success, have been working for years before that night. And so that was something I had to remind her. I had to remind her like, hey, this is a social media platform. There's an algorithm and you need to engage in it as well. You need to respond. You need to like, there's different things that can boost your views on your video. And so we kind of worked through that. She took some of the advice, and the second she took some of it, like her video got another 40 views, another 30 likes, all these different things. So it's just like, I don't know, being a little patient with it. And like you said, and there's nothing, it's scary. Like it's scary. And asking for help has been the hardest, easiest thing to do.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So is that the kind of thing you do in your consulting business? Can you talk a little bit about helping people in what you do and what it's called?
Yeah, so my consulting business is PS Creative, and I'm just starting off with the consulting and a little bit of producing. With the consulting side, I kind of look at their scripts and their projects overall, and we determine what kind of goals they want with their projects. So my friend you know, she's a comedian. Stand-up comedy clubs aren't happening right now. And so we are deciding to pivot her in this moment towards building an online presence with her comedy. And her goals are, you know, she wants to be this comic. She would love to write for SNL one day. She would love to write a movie, you know, these different things. And so I said, we got to start getting this on display. So she's like, what do I need to order? What do I need to get? Like, how do I improve my videos? So we've been working through those steps. On the more producing side, I'm working on a new project called Fly More Than You Fall. And it's a beautiful, beautiful show. It actually premiered in Utah, and we're hoping to bring it to Broadway in the future whenever that can open up again. And I encourage everyone to check it out. It's on my website, which I believe will be linked below.
Yes.
And it's been an opportunity to dive into the side that I have always wanted to be in. And I got a taste when I was starting my job out here. And I have a personal taste of producing a nonprofit in Colorado, but really getting hands-on with producing commercial theater at the New York level, at the Broadway level, and what that means weekly, and how my company and my goals are to also, you know, bring those works to the stage. But I also want to implement social change, and how projects I work on, I want to be a leader with social change. A project I'm really excited for is kind of a nonprofit partnership, very early stages. I want to do something with outdoors producing and social change, and my goal is to do hiking against HIV/AIDS. And I would love to bring people to Colorado and hike a 14er with them. I would love to bring Broadway stars and, you know, medical professionals and therapists on a hike up a 14er and discuss what that means, and do this in a video format so that I can bring my love for producing something with my love for the outdoors, with the social change of raising awareness and funding for HIV/AIDS. So it's just a lot of different things, a lot of projects that I believe trying to phrase it. I am more than just a producer. I offer more than just that. I have more to offer the world than just putting a Broadway show up. It's beautiful. It's beautiful, but I'm more than that. And I want to use my skills to create more than just a multi-million-dollar show on Broadway. Yeah.
Well, I think when you set that intention, then everything you do from there goes along with that. And I think it's so brilliant that you don't just want to say, I just want to make a lot of money, or I just want to produce entertainment, which we all need, and it's very important. But to have that other piece to it, I think is even more important. And by the way, sign me up for that 14er, because I will be there. Yeah. I would love that.
I'm hoping next year, when hopefully everything's in a better place in the world.
Wow, that'd be so great. And I also think it's interesting how so many artists, you know, we do our music but we don't know anything about producing a video or a Zoom call or anything online, where everything's online right now. So having somebody like you to walk us through it and to help us through it is vital, because whatever you put out there, you don't want it to look necessarily homespun, or it has to look professional to be taken seriously. So that's great. I'm glad we'll have that. What's the website?
pscreativeco.com.
Okay.
I'll send it to you as well.
We'll have it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. And I have some photography on there as a side thing. And, you know, I'm trying to figure out how I want the blog aspect of it to work. I'd love to create a youth training program for young producers, because in high school, middle school, high school, etc., you're either a technician, a director, or an actor. But so many kids have these great ideas that I wish somebody would be like, oh, you know, you could produce that, and here's what it would be like to produce that.
Right.
So I'm kind of trying to figure out what that would look like as well. Yeah.
Do you sleep?
You know what? Recently, not really. It's been very bad. That's why I'm
hitting snooze. I'm like, he doesn't sleep. He's doing so much.
It's more I've been trying to get into this new routine. You know, I start my mornings reading, and I try and end my day reading, and I'll read my chapter, close the book, and I'm like, I'm so exhausted now. I put the book down and then my eyes are like, bing, I'm awake. I'm like, we're not even thinking of anything exciting right now. What is going on here? So I'm working on that as well. But yeah, my friends say the same thing. They're like, you're unreal, you're crazy. Like, how do you do this? And I just, if it's something I want to do, I will find time to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's something important as well. If there's something that you want to do, you make time for that. You know, if it's like, I want to see my friends and you spend all your time with your friends, amazing. You made time for your friends. You know, if you want to work on improving your vocal range, like you make time for that. So I think right now, especially now, you can make the time to learn something new and do what you want to do, which some people don't realize, you know, like you can do those things. Yeah, so I'm just making time, and my friends are like, you're insane. So.
No, but I think it's so great because I think, you know, we were kind of put in this, you know, involuntary lockdown where we have all of this time. And sometimes that can lead us to, oh, you know, I have too much time. I don't have enough scheduled. So you really have to be disciplined with yourself to schedule yourself. But it is this gift of opportunity to say, I've always wanted to, like I said, learn a language, take a course. Now is the time.
Yeah, well, and it's also funny because I was talking to my mom about this. The one thing I miss, even with like having all this time and now working from home, I miss my morning commute, which sounds so crazy. Like I miss getting up, leaving the apartment, getting on the crowded subway. Like I miss those things. I miss the walk to the subway, I miss the walk to the office. And she travels in like every week. And she's like, I can't travel every week. I miss it. Like it's weird. With all this time, like stupid things like our commutes we miss, you know?
Right.
So I do encourage everyone, try and get in your little commute if you want. Take the drive, take the walk, do what you need to.
Yeah. Oh, that's such good advice.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you mean because when we lived in Boston, I took the T, you know, every day.
Yeah.
And even though we were all kind of reading and doing our thing, it was this connection with other people that we just kind of had.
Yeah.
And I definitely miss that a lot. Yeah. So
energy of that. Yeah.
exactly right. So I have to say I'm envious that you're in New York because even just walking around, you'll get that. But we'll get back there someday, hopefully.
Yes. Yes, yes.
It has been so wonderful to talk to you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for all your advice and all of your time. All the info will be listed down there. And I wish you luck. I wish you good health. And I can't wait to see what comes next.
Thank you. Well, thank you for having me. And I hope you're staying safe and healthy. And I will see you hopefully sooner than a couple years.
Oh, I know, right? Hopefully. Fingers crossed. Thank you. Mwah. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.